Welcome back to the Ways to Flourish podcast, where we discuss how to flourish through challenges and elevate voices across the William & Mary campus. Today, we chat with Grace Anderson, massage practitioner and wellness professional, about the power of touch. Welcome to Ways to Flourish. In this episode, we are joined by Grace Anderson, who you've been here for
long time. I feel like I spend most of my life here in the William & Mary campus. So, which part? I'm alumni. I graduated class of 93, which was 300 class. And, just being here, just love of the campus. I came back as a massage therapist in 2000. That's when I started offering massages on campus here. Believe it or not, it's been 20 years the massage therapy program has been on William & Mary campus. So,
and you started that program.
Yeah,
really.
That was interesting is because that was literally my first year being a massage therapist. And, I remember being a college student, how stressful it is. And I always thinking, well, we could use it here for stress management. Not everybody's gonna be able to afford to go outside. That's year 2000, so it's still considered luxury. So, I talked to the campus recreation that, we could provide affordable price for massage therapy so students could have another tools to carry on to manage their stress being a college students away from home, I guess the intention back then was providing tool for the student. So I'm glad that this came to the flourish, having this William & Mary Wellness Center and this big program right here. So we came to kind of full circle.
I would say so, because that was 2000. That would have been before the renovation to the rec ever took place.
So believe it or not, I was carrying my table from William & Mary Hall for half an hour appointment. I'll drag it and then go to the classroom, which was in the basement, and I'll tape up all this black trash bag on the window. And
I hope people hear this and appreciate.
For that, and of course, we have this massage room at the campus recreation, and just having this beautiful facility here, the Chloe Wellness Center, is just such a heartwarming.
Because, and it's not even William & Mary Hall anymore. Like, people probably are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, now it's Kaplan. I guess I still call it William & Mary Hall, yeah.
Do you know where you did massages back in 2000, what space of the rec that is now?
So it's not the first floor. There's kind of middle floor where they had a classroom. So cannot tell you
somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there. And then there's a classroom setting, so that's where I offer massages.
So we went on this campus from offering massages in a classroom where you had to tape trash bags on the window to a renovation where we got a really great room
space
on that mid-level of the rec that's still there.
Yes.
But also a shared space with
and
with
then
the
having
trainers.
Don't have to drag my tables.
Yeah, what an upgrade.
So what an upgrade, really.
And then now having our space at the McCall-Tyler Wellness Center, where we've got the 2 rooms.
Yes.
More therapists than ever to be able to provide service, and then still our space at the rec. So that's wild.
So you could tell my passion about massage and my passion about William & Mary students and campus as a whole, taking care of our body through massage therapy. So I'm grateful for that opportunity that I was given. So that's one of the reasons I approached you, because a lot of times what we are going through as a COVID touches become kind of like, don't touch the surface, don't touch the face. So it's been interesting year because everything is X-mark, don't touch it, and we don't shake hands anymore. So that's one of the things. A lot of times it's been kind of feeling that how this lack of touch is impacting our overall health, and especially our young adults or children. So this energy to wanted to do this was, I was dropping off my daughter at our friend's online school, and I was just in their parking lot watching my daughter knock on the door. Her friend Elena came out. She just gave my daughter Ava a biggest hug. And I swear that really made my heart happy. Because, I could just see her smiling in her face. I couldn't see Ava's face because she was having her back towards me. But it's that pause, I don't know, maybe a few seconds. But it just seems like long enough that it really touched my heart, that how important embracing each other, showing love to each other, that just simple as hug is what we need right now. So I feel like I want to do this. Talk about how important it is in some restrictive way, but also just kind of address the importance of the touch in our mental health, just dealing with the day-to-day stress and whatnot. So
our human survival really as a whole relies on
it started, believe it or not, massage has been going around for thousands of years. Ancient Egypt, Chinese, any civilization, there's always been some sort of body work that related with health. So it's been, our culture, but also it's our human nature. When you bump your body part somewhere, your automatic response is touching that area, just kind of comfort that. It's just simple as that touch is how important to kind of heal our body is such an important factor.
And there's really a magic that's activated when we have hands placed onto the body.
Exactly.
What is it that happens through that direct contact, through that touch?
Our hands is the tool. It's almost like a vessel from one person to the other. Just like the simplest handshaking, that sometimes I'm making connection with you by simple handshake. Just giving that nurturing hug, one person to the other. It's just the exchange of our core energy from one person to other. Massages sometimes could be, as a therapist, my intention. I'm using my energy to balance your body or, working your sore muscles, whatever you are there for. But my intention is help you feel better. So it's very important having that hands-on. And I'm just so grateful that we could offer that here during this pandemic here at the campus as far as offering massage services, because it's almost like what's more important, finding out, yes, there is a pandemic, but then we really do need to heal our body to fight this. So I'm glad that we have these tools for us to use it.
And I'm glad that we've been able to find a really nice harmony and be able to move forward with that service in a healthy way where both our practitioners and those experiencing the session feel very comfortable in doing
and
so.
And that's the thing is, that's what makes a massage therapeutic, is that you are having that trust. The client or student comes in, they trust that session because their intention wanted to get themselves better, but you giving that trust. That's what makes it more therapeutic and healing process for that.
Yeah, I also love the sense of self-awareness that laying the hands on somebody, or as human beings, we tend to get really caught up in the mind and the thought process, and the connection of the body and the mind that can be facilitated through this touch modality, whether it's something that just by laying your hands there that brings my awareness to that space, or even for some people who might continue even during a session to be caught up in the head, being able to hear that feedback from a therapist, like, this is what I'm noticing in the tissues of the body.
Yeah, I am just the kind of facilitator. Healing happens within yourself. It's actually kind of interesting because if I had an aha moment with massage therapy, it just recently happened, because I do have a prior client who's elderly. She's been coming to me weekly during the pandemic when we were able to receive massage. And, I asked her, how are you feeling by getting this weekly massage? And I guess my expectation for that answer was like, I feel better, but her answer was, I'm more aware of my body. And then that's when it hits me, because a lot of times I'm not a healer per se, but if I could make somebody aware of their body, that's my intention. So, and then that's what the mindfulness is, because being aware of your body, because sometimes you don't really feel you're aching somewhere, but you come in, and then as I was massaging the calf of the left side, and then they start, it's like I didn't realize it's been hurting. So it's definitely interesting how we get aware of places that we didn't really thought about, So it's total body well-being. So.
And also, what I've noticed is like when we get fixated on the aches or pains of one area, and that bark completely drowns out, the yelps and pains of other areas of the body. So it's always good to be able to, guide that awareness there. So as a facilitator of massage, I love to hear what you're saying about facilitating this, but really as a master of this trade, what are some ways that people can help themselves?
So a lot of times, beginning of our wellness, and when we did the whole virtual thing, I published some self-massage. Self-massage is always a good way, because a lot of time simple places like, jaw, our wrist and forearms been one of those new area that I start noticing people having tension, because we are more on the computer and we are more doing the texting. So there's a lot of tension in the thumb and the web of the thumb in the palm, and the forearms tends to be quite tight. So a lot of times I always say just shake your hands when you're typing, just to kind of not having that constant tightness in that wrist area. So take a little break, just simple shake could always help. And that goes to along the whole arm, just kind of do the movement or the whole rotation. Our joint and things, it's very pivoting and very mobile. So you could just do simple rotation to one side to the other is always a good way, especially neck area too, just to have the head as the weight and just kind of simply just rotate in circular motion one side to the other. And of course you will feel certain side will be tighter than the other, then just pause and give that deep breathing, because a lot of times our muscle is always that fight and flight, that tight mode, and we just don't realize it until you're on the table for massage. So a lot of times it's a teamwork, myself and the client, to kind of release that tension. So I always say take a couple deep breaths, and when I press the pressure and giving that deeper breath to that muscle, and you'll receive that oxygen or blood flow to the area, release that tension on that. So.
And I think that is what you were saying about the fight or flight tendency, is like we live in a reactive state, I think, most of the time. And that touch, to me, that signal of comfort, that reminds you you're in that safe space. Like, activate that parasympathetic nervous system, start to calm and regulate the body.
There's something about the touch therapies goes a long way in a medicine, even working on a preemies, and having from beginning of our life until the death, hospice care, sometimes just being there for holding somebody's hand could comfort that person. It's just there's exchange of energy or giving that vibration to the other. It's what makes it healing in our body. So there's definitely something that we can explain energy exchange when you are placing that hands on somebody.
So what's the first thing? Walk me through the process of what
I
need to do.
think a lot of times, massage always start with centering. Even though it's as simple as just working yourself, I would like to start with centering, which kind of start with just clearing your mind, taking that deep breath. So I always take that deeper inhale, holding that breath and just let go of every stress you got. Even you can make this ha noise when you do that. So you clear your mind, center, and then just palpate, using your hands and just the whole mandible, that joint, where you could even open your mouth slightly and just explore that muscle. And you feel there's a tension or certain area, just giving that little pressure for a few seconds and release, and then do that over again. And you could do the circular motion along your jawline. It could be like you're giving yourself a little facial at the end of the day or beginning of the day when you're washing your face. I like to do that actually. So that's something that we could all do. But if you are having a problem with the jaw, that tends to be an area people hold their attention, just giving that time, a few minutes day to day, just massage that and just explore the muscle and stretch it and do some circular motion with your fingertips.
And of course, we have to talk about our shoulders, like the main hot
Yeah.
spot.
Usually shoulder is the hardest thing because you don't want to strain yourself getting into that shoulder. Just simple rotation, one shoulder to the other, and just kind of grab that trap muscle and grab and release and grab and release. But just being aware of your shoulder and where your neck and shoulder is, I think that's a wonder just at the end of the day, And another thing I like to share is just in the morning, just get up and just stretch your whole arm towards the sun, because as I say, our hands are almost like a charger. Get the vital energy from the sun, and you just have that image that you are receiving that vital energy. And then sometimes I like to place it on my heart to just calm our mind, because that's very nurturing self-care. Because you could do that when you're doing mindful meditation with Martha in the morning. You could just simply place your hands on your heart, just kind of giving yourself a little hug at the end of the day or beginning of the day. But I always find that to be effective self-care if we could do one thing. Hopefully one day we could, everybody could just hug everybody's. But in the meantime, if we could just hug ourselves and just hug our heart to just calm our mind, that's one thing that I really like to stress as far as self-care.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, well, Grace, thank you so much
You're
for being
welcome.
with us today. Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I'm just, as I say, I'm glad that I've been able to sit here and share my little tips to everybody. So hopefully this will be helpful.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Ways to Flourish, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for joining us today. Connect with all things health and wellness through the William & Mary Wellness app. Thanks to our sponsor, United Healthcare. And as always, this podcast is produced by Colin Cross, Brittany Emmons, Lindsay Heck, and myself, Eric Garrison.